Welcome back. Thank you for joining us again today. This is Hipster Flow. You will need 2 blocks and a strap today. Go ahead and start to get settled. And the pose that we'll start with today is supported fish pose. So I'm going to make my supported fish pose. I guess you're going to need a pillow too. My supported fish pose a little bit softer today. I'm going to show you 2 ways to get into it. If you have a blanket, you can fold it so that it's kind of like a bolster shape. So we have this long support for the spine. And I guess it's more like supported recline bound angle rather than fish because the throat's not really opening here. And then you'll lay your spine, making sure that the pelvis is on the floor. Lay the spine over the bolster. Reach the arms up toward the ceiling and then pull the shoulder blades together. And then start to bring the elbows down and then release the hands out to the sides. The soles of the feet come together and the knees drop out to the side. Now you'll notice that I have the blocks under my knees to support the hips today, right? You don't have to have that support. Although for me, my inner thighs are a little tight, so I'm gonna support, especially since we haven't warmed up much, I'm gonna support the knees here initially. Now, if you'd rather have a bolster underneath the body here, underneath the spine, a little bit deeper back bend, a little bit more lift to the chest, right? You can. So once you're here, we'll start to settle into this space of stillness, right? Into this space of bringing ourselves back into the body. I know it's early in the morning for a lot of you, right? But if you're doing this later in the day and you've spent a lot of time rushing around or starting to create your task list for today, bring your attention back into your body, back to your breath, back to the racing thoughts. And to anchor yourself here in the present, bring most of your attention to the breath. This idea that we can concentrate on multiple things at once is really a myth of our society. So anchor yourself. Learn to anchor yourself in the present, bringing all of your attention to now and what you are doing in this moment. We're not multitasking. We're learning to bring our concentration into focus, into one thing. And the thing that we are doing now is breathing in this shape, on this mat, in this body, at this moment. And so we'll stay here for 5 more breaths. In this moment, I am breathing in. In this moment, I am breathing out. In this moment, I am breathing in. And in this moment, I am breathing out. In this moment, I am breathing in. And in this moment, I am breathing out. Start to shift and move your body. Lift your knees together, feet on the earth. And then taking the blocks off to the side, just slowly roll off of your bolster or pillows to one side and pause. And using your hands to press into the floor, slowly press up and find hands and knees. Palms under shoulders, knees under hips. Lift your head, lift your tail. And then exhale, round your spine, look down at the belly. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, round your spine, look down at your belly. Inhale, lift and lengthen. And exhale, round. This time, holding this rounded spine, pushing into the floor in the hands, in the shins, in the tops of the feet. Drop the chin toward the chest and just breathe here. And then do the opposite. Inhale, lift the head, lift the tail to cow position. Tone the belly. And then holding here. Pushing into the mat, into the feet, tops of the feet, into the fingertips. Take a breath in and a breath out. 3 more breaths. Drawing the shoulder blades together. Keeping the belly strong. Take 1 more breath in. Exhale here. Inhale to neutral. And then tucking the toes under, lift the hips up and back to downward facing dog. Inhale, rock forward, hands and knees hover. Exhale, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, rock forward, hands and knees. You can hover or drop the knees all the way down. Exhale, up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward, hover or drop the knees down. Exhale, up and back, downward facing dog. This next time you come all the way forward, hands and knees, dropping the knees down. Inhale, lift the right leg up. So right heel is lifting up toward the floor. And then you're going to turn the heel in, knee out, and rotate the knee out to the side, drawing the knee all the way forward to the center. And then inhale, lift the foot back up to the ceiling. Exhale, rotate, round forward, keeping the pelvis neutral. Inhale, back up. And so we don't want a lot of movement in the hips, right? We're not trying to move fast. We're trying to keep the pelvis really steady here. So the knee lifts up, knee out to the side. You shouldn't feel a lot of movement in the center of the spine. Staying as flat as possible. Do one more time. And then sit back on the heels. So we're trying to keep the pelvis as neutral as possible with that movement in the leg. Determining, if you remember last week, determining the full range of motion. So if we're moving the leg, if we're moving the hip joint, we're trying to determine if the hip is actually moving or if we're moving the low back above the joint, or not necessarily in this position, but in a standing position if we're moving the knee. Right, so trying the other side. Tone the belly, lift the left leg up. And then you're gonna tilt the knee out to the side. Take the knee out to the side, round the knee forward toward the center, and then lift back up. Good. Try it again. Knee out to the side, rounding out to the side. And this is where you might see this pushing up into the back. We don't want to do that, right? And so the knee might not come as close to your chest. Your range of motion may be a little more limited than you're aware of, right? And so we're just exploring. Okay, sit back on your heels again, resting here, opening up the front of the quads. Breathe. And so we're gonna play with movement and stillness today. So we created some movement, and now holding this shape, come into stillness. Closing your eyes or keeping them open, doesn't matter. If the eyes are open, keep the gaze concentrated on one point. Right, so that's your drishti, your focused gaze. Still eyes, still mind. Wandering eyes, wandering mind. So we start to see the relationship between what the eyes are taking in and how the mind can wander. And go out throughout our day, noticing or not noticing, right? The more we do yoga, perhaps the more we notice how much our mind is actually wandering away from this moment and how often it's anchored in the present. You start to rock forward into hands and knees, neutral spine, tucking the toes under, lift the hips up and back to downward facing dog. Breathing here. Inhaling and exhaling. Take one more breath in. And then as you exhale, lift high on the toes and walk your feet to your hands. Lift and tone the belly, find space. And then exhale, fold into that space. Bend your knees. Press up to standing. Arms reach high overhead. Interlock your fingers, side lean to your right. Reach up through center. Side lean to your left. All the way up to center. Hands come to your sides, Tadasana. Inhale, arms out and up. Forward fold, touch the earth. Lift into on the belly. Step your right foot back, lower your knee. Inhale your arms up, Anjaneyasana. Keep that circular motion forward all the way like you're swimming, butterfly pose, right? Tuck the back toes under, step forward, Uttanasana. Lift into on the belly. Step your left foot back, lower the knee. Inhale, butterfly stroke. Arms up and back, and then coming forward. Plant the hands, step forward, Uttanasana. Lift into on the belly. Forward fold, exhale. Heel to your feet, hip distance apart. Take ragdoll. Bend the elbows. Sway side to side. Bend your knees, press up to standing, arms reach high overhead. Interlock your fingers, side lean right. Reach up through center, side lean left. All the way up to center, hands come to your sides, Tadasana. Inhale, arms out and up. Forward fold, touch the earth. Lift into on the belly. Step your right foot back, lower the knee. Big arm circles back and then forward. Hands to the floor, step forward, Uttanasana. Lift into on the belly. Step your left foot back, lower your knee. Big arm circles up and around. Hands to the floor, step forward, Uttanasana. Lift into on the belly. Forward fold. Rise all the way up to standing. Arms reach high overhead. Interlock your fingers, side lean right. Reach up through center. Side lean left. All the way up. Hands come to your sides, Tadasana. And so you step to the center of the mat. And we'll try that movement again. But here, right, noticing the stability required in the core and in the standing leg to move the hip independently of the other joints surrounding it. So you bring your hands to your hips, and the hands on the hips are for balance, but also to notice if the hips start twisting or the back starts rounding and moving. So hands on the hips, lift the right leg up. Take the right knee out to the side, and then coming around, kick the leg back, and then lift the knee up. So we're gonna do that backwards. Sorry, we went the wrong way. Kick the foot back, turn the heel in, knee out. Lift the knee out to the side, and then draw the knee back to center, right? So this is the same direction we've been moving. Kick the heel back, rotate the heel in, knee out, knee comes out to the center. So notice here, if the pelvis is twisting, and I'm gonna over exaggerate, twisting out to the side, and then bring it back to center. One more time, kick the foot back, knee in, or knee out, heel in, knee out to the side, rotating back to center. One more time, good. Kick the heel back, heel in, knee out to the side, and then rotate it back to center. Release the foot down. Right, and then step the feet side to side. And you start to feel this heat in the hip joint, perhaps. Hands to your hips again, switching sides, left leg, kick, lift the knee up, and then kick the heel back. Heel comes in, knee out to the side, and then rotate back to center. Good. Kick the heel back, knee out, heel in, knee out to the side, and then knee back to center. Beautiful. Kick the heel back, knee out, heel in, right? And this is the hard rotation here at least for me. Knee out to the side, and then knee back to center. Release the knee down. Walk the feet side to side. Come back to the front of your mat. So we've rotated that hip joint in two planes now, or in two positions, hands and knees, and then standing. And later we'll do the same rotation to be able to feel like, what is it like when the back is coming up against the floor, right? We certainly can't press back into that plane, but that outward rotation, external rotation of the hip, we can feel, right? Is the back limiting our mobility, or is it really taking us further into this range of motion than perhaps what our joint naturally has? Inhale your arms out and up. Exhale, forward fold. Lift and tone the belly, find space, and then plant the hands, step back, high plank, right? And you can even do it here. Both feet, knees off the floor, or, right, and you really have to hold the core tight here, bending the right knee, lift the knee up, rotate the foot out, knee out, foot in, and drawing the knee forward, right? Knee center, now lift the heel up. Foot in, knee out, rotate the knee out to the side, draw the knee forward, and then step back. Drop the knees down, sit back on your heels. So really concentrating on the core when we're holding high plank. You can do these movements in that plane, and then we're playing with, okay, how strong am I holding my core? How much am I able to isolate this movement in the hip without affecting other joints above or below? So let's go back to high plank. That was a nice little break. Lift the left leg up, knee bent, heel in, knee out. Knee comes out to the side, rotating the knee back up to center, and then kick the heel up toward the ceiling. Knee out, heel in, knee out to the side, drawing the knee up to center, and then kick the heel back. Last time. Knee out, heel in, knee out to the side, drawing the knee up to center, and then step back. Sit down on the knees, take the feet apart this time, and sit back between the feet, Virasana. So coming into stillness here. So you're either sitting between the feet on the floor, or maybe up on a block, or a blanket, right? We have different options. And then come into that stillness. So playing with movement, playing with stillness. Our ability to oscillate back and forth, right? Between, just like we train our nervous system to oscillate. We want flexibility in our nervous system to flow back and forth from sympathetic to parasympathetic response. We can train our minds to oscillate back and forth between awareness, less awareness, right? Keeping ourselves anchored toward more awareness. Anchoring yourself in the breath. Five more breaths here. And coming forward off the feet. Shift the hips back behind the heels. Extend the legs forward out in front of you. So feeling the knees unbend. Right, and you can keep your blanket close by. Maybe you want to sit up on the blanket today. Give your hips a little height. But moving the sit bones back so that you have this freedom in the low back. Pushing into the heels, feel this slight bend in the back of the knees. Take the arms out to the side and coming back to movement. Exhale, twist to the left, reaching the left hand behind, right hand toward the left toes. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, left hand reaching for the toes, right hand reaching behind. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. You can go faster or slower. Just feeling this movement in your body. And then coming into stillness, come into your forward fold, reaching for the feet, reaching for the floor. One more breath in. Exhale it out. And then using an inhale to lengthen your torso up. Come onto your back. So you come onto your back, knees bent, feet on the floor. You can use a blanket under your head or not, your choice. And then find neutral spine. The feet on the floor, lift the low back up off the earth so you're in a cow position, and then flatten the low back onto the floor so you're in more of a cat. And you can't do that rounding because we're limited by the floor, but you can certainly round in the pelvis, right? Tailbone tucks in, exhale. Inhale, lift to cow position, right? You'll feel the belly lift up, and then exhale, belly flattens, tailbone lifts, right? But the hips don't lift off the floor. Inhale, exhale. So you feel this rocking motion of the pelvis just to get your bearings, get your awareness around what is the movement allowed here in the low back with the restriction of the floor. What is the movement allowed here in the hips with the restriction of the floor? And then on your next inhale, come to a neutral position, right? So there's a little bit of lift of the low back away from the floor. You should be able to slide your hand between the floor and your low back, right? But not an overarching where the ribs are lifted. On your inhale, lift the knee in toward your chest, so there shouldn't be any movement of the low back. Take the knee out to the side, and then rotate it down. And this would be where you would kick behind, right? We can't kick behind because the floor is there, unless you have like really like a, I don't know, a drop in the floor. What are those called? A trap door. Lift the knee back up to center and then draw the knee in toward the belly. Heel in, knee out, rotate the knee out to the side, down, back to center, knee up to the belly, heel in, knee out, out to the side, knee back to center, up to the belly, and then place the foot down. So how do we do there, right? Did you notice a lot of movement in the low back, right? Or even in the other half of the pelvis, in the left side of the pelvis? And just making observations. You're not making any judgment, you're just making observations like, what is happening in my body when I'm exploring this movement? So we'll go to the other side. Tone the belly, feel that neutral spine. Lift the left leg up, knee out, heel in, rotating the knee out and down, lifting the knee back to center and pulling it into the belly. Heel in, knee out, rotate out to the side, all the way down, knee rotates back up to center, lift the knee up toward the belly. Heel in, knee out, rotate out to the side and down. Lifting the knee back up, knee to center. Last time. Heel in, knee out, rotate out to the side and up to center, back to the belly, foot down. And then pause here, bringing the heel of your palm to the hip crease. Just push one leg forward at a time. You'll feel the low back lengthening. I'm just kind of rocking the pelvis side to side. You can do that with or without the palms. And then nice traction here, pushing evenly into both thighs. Bring the heels together, knees wide. Pushing into the feet, lift the knees halfway up, coming back into movement. Exhale, knees all the way down. Knees all the way up, halfway down. All the way up, halfway down. All the way up, all the way down. Halfway up, all the way down. Halfway up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down. Keep pushing into the feet, all the way up, all the way down, all the way up, halfway down, all the way down, halfway up, all the way down, all the way up, and then just flutter the knees as fast as you can. Fluttering the knees as fast as you can. Not very fast today. I don't know if I would take flight as a butterfly. So flutter the knees. And then pause with the knees wide. Soften here. Once again, finding yourself in Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined bound angle. Come into this stillness. Drawing your energy from being present and anchored in this moment. Using your hands to slowly lift the knees together. Walk the feet in slightly. Drop the knees over to your right. Simple twist. And bringing the knees back up through center. Rock the knees over to the left. Twisting the other way. And bringing the knees back to center. Hug your knees in towards your belly and pause. And releasing the feet to the floor. Sending the legs out one at a time. Resting in Shavasana. Full surrender into the stillness. In this moment, I am breathing in. And in this moment, I am breathing out. And so as you continue to rest in Shavasana, I'll leave you with these words. That day I saw beneath the dark clouds, the passing light over the water, and I heard the voice of the world speak out. I knew then, as I had before, life is no passing memory of what has been, nor the remaining pages in a great book waiting to be read. It is the opening of eyes long closed, seeing for the silence they hold. It is the heart, after years of secret conversing, speaking out loud in the clear air. It is the vision of far off things. It is Moses in the desert, fallen to his knees before the lit bush. It is the man throwing away his shoes as if to enter heaven and finding himself astonished, opened at last, fallen in love with solid ground. And these words are really speaking to the opening of our eyes, our hearts, our minds to right now. To anchoring ourselves in the present and falling in love with the solid ground beneath us in each moment. As you are ready, anchored to this moment, start to move your body a little bit more, rolling to one side to pause in a fetal position. And then feel the solid ground beneath your hands. Slowly press yourself up to a comfortable seat. And reach your arms above your head. Join your palms together. Drawing your hands to your heart space, resting in Anjali Mudra. Bow your head in gratitude for this practice, this moment, this breath, this body, this life. Lift our voices and lift our gaze in the vibration of one Om. Take a breath in. Thumbs to your forehead, honoring the radiant light within yourself and each other. Namaste.